Welcome to the White Door YouTube channel.
This is Scotland, and this is where everyone lives in Scotland. You might be surprised to learn that despite having a population of 5.45 million, a whopping 70% of Scots call one specific area home. Let's delve into why this is the case. But before we do, feel free to subscribe for more interesting content. This densely populated region is known as Scotland's Central Belt, and it's home to an estimated 3 to 3.5 million people. That translates to a significant 63% of the entire Scottish population. If we factor in surrounding areas like East Fife, Perth, and Dundee, the figure jumps to a staggering 80%. As you can see, a large portion of Scotland's population resides within this central band. But why? There are plenty of other cities in the north of Scotland, such as Aberdeen, with a population of 261,000. Aberdeen is the hub of all things oil rigs and was named the oil capital of Europe, not to be confused with the Etihad Stadium. Aberdeen boasts several accolades. It's been voted the safest city in the UK, enjoys low unemployment rates, and even cracked the top 3 best places to live in the entire country. Plus, with housing prices that allow you to snag a castle for the price of a London one-bedroom flat, Aberdeen sounds like a dream come true, right? Hold on a sec. While the affordability is undeniably attractive, there's a catch. Aberdeen's title as Europe's oil capital comes with a price tag. The high demand for housing, goods, and services fueled by the oil industry pushes up the cost of living. So, is Aberdeen a great place to live? It depends on your priorities. It offers safety, affordability compared to London, and a booming job market. However, be prepared for a higher cost of living compared to other UK cities. Be aware that the cost of living in these areas can be high, but the salaries tend to reflect that. Now, a heads up for those who dislike wind, Aberdeen, being a coastal city, gets slammed with it pretty regularly. Winter also brings shorter days, with only about 6 hours of sunshine. Moving on to Inverness, another northern city with a population of around 50,000. Founded in the 6th century, it's steeped in history and acts as the gateway to the incredible Scottish Highlands. Loch Ness enthusiasts will be thrilled. It's right on their doorstep. However, with a population of only 50,000, Inverness can feel quite isolated, especially for young adults seeking a vibrant city life. Scotland boasts over 790 islands, a staggering number that might make you dream of island life. But don't pack your bags just yet. Only 93 of these are actually inhabited. The most populated island is Harris and Lewis, with around 21,000 residents. Pictures might make it look tropical, but it's much colder and filled with sheep instead of palm trees. Other cool islands include Shetland, Orkney, and the Isle of Skye, which is famous for its stunning scenery. Across Scotland's inhabited islands, the population is roughly 103,000. So, why do more people not live here? Well, firstly, transportation can be tricky. Some islands require a train, then a bus, then a ferry, then sometimes a flight. Sometimes the ferries are only available once a week. The world's shortest commercial flight actually exists here, a flight between Westray and Papa Westray, which lasts 90 seconds in full and is a tourist attraction in itself. But it's hard to ignore the natural beauty of these islands. The island's beauty is undeniable, but island life comes with challenges. Getting there and back can be difficult, and limited housing options make leaving just as tricky. The cost of living is high, internet is unreliable, good schools are scarce, and entertainment options for kids are limited. These are all realities of living in small, isolated communities. The Outer Hebrides in 1901 had a population of around 46,000, and by 2001 it had fallen to 26,000, a staggering 43% decrease. Researchers predicted it could fall to 20,000 by 2050, which would be a shame considering its natural beauty. I reckon if Scotland planted some palm trees and added some heaters and started calling the Isle of Barra the Bahamas, maybe some American tourists could save these islands. Now, back to mainland Scotland. Why is the rest of it empty? Well, We've talked about this issue before and why the Romans and Vikings weren't able to fully conquer Scotland. One of the biggest issues is the terrain. 60% of Scotland is mountainous terrain, making it the UK's biggest wildlife habitat. The Scottish Highlands are actually the same mountain range as the Appalachian Range in America. These mountains were once connected as the Central Pangaean Mountains. Scotland boasts a dramatic landscape. Remarkably, all 20 of the UK's highest peaks are located within its borders. This makes Scotland significantly more mountainous compared to England and Wales. But why do very few people live in the Scottish mountains? The combination of lack of housing, educational facilities, and workplaces, and functional two-way roads make it a difficult place to live. Many people who do live in these lands are self-sustaining, growing their own food and providing their own power and electricity. Also, 22% of the population is over 65 years old, who don't necessarily need work opportunities in these areas. Around 200,000 people live in the Scottish Highlands, which is about 100,000. Less than how many people lived there 100 to 200 years ago. Historical records suggest a population of roughly 300,000 in the 18th and 19th centuries. This higher figure aligns better with Scotland's turbulent history, which saw the country involved in numerous wars over the past few hundred years. Scotland's terrain almost provided a blanket of safety from invasions from many fierce foes such as the Vikings, the Romans, and most consistently, the English. The Highlands were a popular home of the Scottish clans. One of the biggest reasons for the decrease in population among the Highlands was an event in the 18th to 19th century called the Highland Clearances, the forced eviction of inhabitants of the Highlands and Western Islands of Scotland. This removal of people cleared the land primarily to allow for the introduction of sheep pastoralism. The Highland Clearances, forced evictions that began in the 18th century, weakened the Scottish clan system. This happened after the Jacobite defeat at Culloden in 1746, where many Highlanders died. If you look at climate maps for Scotland, despite the difference only being a matter of a car journey, due to the terrain, a few hours drive can sometimes mean a drastic change in temperature. So many Highlanders will be envious of somewhere only a few hours away being much hotter. The only benefit the Highlands have over the rest of mainland Scotland is their natural beauty, and despite the isolation, many celebrities have houses in the Highlands, such as Billy Connolly, Paul McCartney, and Bob Dylan, the esteemed folk singer who once sang and described that his heart is in the Highlands. The Highlands seem almost a safe haven for celebrities and retired pensioners. Scotland also does a fantastic job of preserving their natural beauty. Scotland's iconic Loch Lomond, the biggest lake by surface area in the UK, came under threat a few years ago when Flamingo Land launched a plan to build a theme park at this iconic natural site. The Scottish population were outraged and launched a petition for them to withdraw their offer, which they did. Only for 2 years later, Flamingo Land came back with a new plan. Scottish Greens have launched another petition, so if you are interested in standing up to this, I'll add the link into the description so we can save Loch Lomond together. Scotland has the potential for more development in terms of properties and tourist attractions. However, unlike many other countries, Scotland doesn't necessarily prioritize such development. This stands in stark contrast to places like America. Scotland, on the other hand, is one of the few countries where some areas look exactly the same as they did 500 years ago. This commitment to preserving its natural beauty and historical heritage is a key part of what makes Scotland so special. Sure, some areas might appear sparsely populated, but this sense of tranquility and untouched wilderness, a landscape virtually unchanged for centuries, is a treasure Scotland holds dear. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more content like this by clicking here. See you next time.